Aruba's alcohol drinking age is being raised from 16 to 18 years old, but the Minister of Health says the island lacks education on the substance. Plus, in today's lifestyle segment, no matter how much you weigh, you need to be careful with your sugar levels. And the government is taking action in the stray dog issue. 15 on 15 starts right now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Yentl Lieuw. Aruba is raising the alcohol age limit from 16 to 18. Minister of Health Alex Schwengel says this is a step forward towards creating a solution for underage drinking on the island. But the main concern is the lack of education the island has on alcohol.
Parliament member Marlon Snake is the driving force behind raising the alcohol limit from 16 to 18. The difference in maturity level between a 16-year-old to an 18-year-old is not the primary reason for the change. Alcohol is for adults, and you become one once you hit 18.
I don't think it's the responsibility. We have our laws talk about 18 years is the age that you're an adult. So I think alcohol is for adults. So 18 years will be a nice age so that the adult can use alcohol.
The Minister of Health, Alex Schwengel, says teenagers and young adults need to understand that it doesn't mean alcohol is a free-for-all once you are legal to drink. More education on alcohol is needed on the island.
I think education is the most important part and start at an early age. I believe, of course, the age about, if it is 18 years or 20 years, that you're legally entitled to have a drink and buy a drink, I have no problem with that. But that will not give us the solution with the drinking problems. I think we lack a lot of education of our children regarding the drinking of alcohol.
Minister Schwengel encourages parents to talk to their kids, set a positive example for them in order to eliminate the drinking problems Aruba has. Age shouldn't be the only thing preventing teens to drink. They should be aware of the health consequences of drinking and have a good basic understanding of alcohol consumption.
If your children are becoming adults, if you want to have a drink while eating a wine or a beer, teach them that it's okay to have a beer and a wine. But if you're always drunk in the weekend, that is the example you're setting for your children. So the chances are really big if the parents are drinking every day or every weekend, that will be the normal standard for their children. And so the problem will go on and go on and go on.
Other local news, a joint venture between international and local companies are gearing up to create a seawater air conditioning system for Aruba, also known as SWAC. Take a look.
Prime Minister Mike Amon, together with Webb executives, unveiled the water company's latest project. Aruba's seawater air conditioning, also known as SWAC, is a renewable energy project for deploying cold seawater from the deep sea with the purpose of providing cooling for all major island resorts. The project entails placing intake pipelines about 10 kilometers off the north shore of Aruba by Urirama to bring cold waters from 800 meters under the sea. The seawater would be brought to a cooling station which transfers the coldness of fresh water that circulates in a closed-loop pipeline system. This chilled water air conditioning service is then provided to customer buildings.
According to designing engineers, the heat exchangers ensure that seawater and fresh water delivered to the buildings never mix. The chilled fresh water is provided to customer buildings through an underground distribution system connected to each building's existing chilled water air conditioning system. Slightly warmed seawater is returned in an environmentally safe manner to the ocean and released through a diffuser. The cost of the project is $100 million. And moving forward, before we go on break, here are some highlights from Aruba's Tumba Festival.
Aruba's Tumba Festival had a total of 36 participants. The excitement took place over the weekend at the Entertainment Center in Dakota. The king of Tumba was crowned, and the winner is Jerino Ridderstop. He won the Tumba contest due to the lyrics of the song, but also the composition, arrangement, and presentation made up for the grand winner. Jerino won with his song Applause for Aruba's Grand Carnival. He was accompanied by his band Delicious.
And on that note, we will be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. We are on location today in front of the harbor at Orangestad. Now, eating too much sugar is dangerous no matter what your weight is. We're not only talking about chocolate bars and candy. Studies have shown that it's hard to detect how much of the sweet stuff you are consuming, since many things have added sugar, such as salad dressing, ketchup, yogurt, and much more. Here's why you need to be more careful with sugar.
Consuming too much of the sweet stuff has been linked to a higher risk of dying of heart disease. Just one 12-ounce soda a day can add enough sugar to your diet to boost your odds of developing heart disease by a third. You are not off the hook if you don't drink soda. Researchers found a link between obtaining more than 15% of your daily calories from sugar-infused processed foods and a greater likelihood of heart disease. So, if you are consuming 2,000 calories a day, that means you should be taking in no more than 300 calories from processed foods that contain sugar.
Here is the difficult part. Even if you are disciplined and steer clear from cookies, ice cream, and all kinds of sweets, it's the bread, crackers, and sauces that all contain added sugar. So even though they may not actually taste sweet, you may not even realize how much of the sweet stuff you are consuming until you evaluate. Switching gears onto a completely different note, ladies, do you have trouble sleeping? Well, there is a new method to doze off that beats counting sheep. 1 in 6 women surveyed by the Daily Mail said they sleep better after sex. There is science to back this up. It has all to do with hormone production during intercourse. Sex boosts the production of oxytocin, which helps you and your significant other bond. Also, sex decreases the production of cortisol, which reduces stress. These hormonal changes leave your body in a relaxed state, making it easier for you to fall asleep. Continuing on with relationships, there is now a much more appealing way to improve your connection with your partner. Research shows watching movies about relationships together is just as effective as going to couples therapy. Check this out.
Who knew that debating over Noah and Allie from the Notebook movie could help your own relationship? Couples who watch movies about relationships together and then discuss them after are half as likely to split up within 3 years compared to couples who don't bond over cinema. Even crazier, chatting about relationships in movies can be just as effective as protecting your marriage as actual couples counseling. This was proven in an extensive study. Any couple, even happy couples, who watches movies about relationships, like the 5-year engagement, can gain something from this strategy. The study used movies such as Meet the Fockers, so watch it with your partner, then start up a conversation about it afterwards.
The movie watching method definitely beats out couples therapy, and may I add, saves a lot of money. When we come back, we will have much more, and join us back on location in downtown Orangestad. The stray dog issue on the island is becoming more than just an eyesore. The government, together with the parliament, is working towards an efficient solution once and for all. Aruba is listed at the top of the international list with the highest cases of animal abuse, seeing as 8,000 registered strays are euthanized a year. Parliament member Donny Rasmain says, as an island that depends on tourism, this is unacceptable.
Aruba has a bad reputation with stray dogs. On an international level, the island is rated at the top for animal abuse. Reason being, the law involving stray animals prior to December 2012 allowed euthanization. This needs to stop.
You go on the internet, you'll find that we are listed as one of the top countries for which we are rated as one of the highest, cases animal abuse takes place. And Aruba's problem is that we kill a lot of dogs, a lot of stray dogs. Our average is about 7,000 to 8,000 dogs a year that are being killed.
Aruba is already on the international list as one of the top countries that abuse animals with the amount of registered animals euthanized. Donnie says there are more not being accounted for.
Apparently, we have on the island between 30 to 35,000 dogs. So if you just, you can imagine how many dogs are not being registered when they die. And only with these figures, 7,000 to 8,000, we made the top list already of the countries that do have animal abuse. And that's not a good rating for our island. The government is working very hard, especially our party, working very hard to lift our name of our country.
Parliament member Donnie Rasmain says Aruba is overdue in finding a working solution for the stray dogs issue. The island needs to clear its name. As a destination that depends on tourism, this cannot continue. Even tourists step in to help by adopting some of the island's dogs.
A place that lives on tourism, like Aruba, we cannot have these names. Anything that's bad internationally, we need to correct it. And especially in this case, where a lot of tourists, they are taking part in these organizations. They are funding several of these foundations, and they do take dogs from Aruba to their country because they love Aruba so much, and they even think that the dogs are as friendly as the people.
On the next edition of the show, Parliament member Donnie Rasmain goes into details on an action plan the government has involving all stakeholders, such as various animal rights foundations as well as tourists. That is our show for today. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back here on Thursday night starting at 7:15 p.m. with a brand new edition of 15 on 15 right here on Channel 15 ATV. We'll see you then.